Hey everybody, how's it going? Glad you made it to the chat tonight, to the show. How's your week going? Trying to get everything ready to go for tonight. Oh, what a crazy day. Hey Pop, I'm glad you made it tonight. Nice to have you. Let's see here. Is the music kind of loud? Alright, I'm good. I hope you're good. Alright, let's take a look at our puzzles. Our warm-up puzzles here. These warm-up puzzles that we have, there are checkmate puzzles. That's the clue that I want to give you guys. Checkmate puzzles. I guess good is going to be not extremely loud, Coach Blake. Okay. Let's take a look at our first puzzle. On our first puzzle, what we have here is black to move. Coach Blake, I know you're there. Hey, Paul, I know you dropped in. Holler at me. Let's see here. What's a good first move here for black here? Knight to e3. Knight takes e3. Come on. First things that we want to do always is to look for checks first. All right, Coach Blake. So checks first. Checks first. Bishop takes c2 is a check. King's gonna capture. Could capture. Could just walk away from it all. I think you have a better move than bishop takes c2. Queen could take c2, by the way. Not a really good first move for white that he doesn't want to do it. Yeah. There you go. That's when our rook takes here because he's pinned as a checkmate n1 mate right then, right there. All right, we're going to go to our second puzzle. And our second puzzle of the night. Here we go. We have black to move again. Let's look at checks first. And then we will look for other moves. Checks, captures, and threats. Yes, it is going to be knight to e2. This is a smothered mate. The white queen cannot take the knight because it is pinned. So use that pin. Alright, another black to move. Alright. Look for checks first. Checks will lead us to a checkmate. What do we got here? Keep going, Coach Blake. Give me more moves. There you go. Okay, queen goes to h4 with the checkmate. Sneaky mate. Alright, cool deal. I'm going to switch it up. Let's see how you do with these mate in 2 puzzles. Now, these mate in 2 puzzles, we are going to be double checking here. I think I like these kind of puzzles here. So give me the first move that you see here. Hey, gaming grandma, how are you? We are doing our checkmate puzzles of the night. Oh, hey, how's it going? And Ben the Beast. Sorry you can't make it to the tournament on Saturday. Thanks for joining us, Gaming Grandma. Hope Gaming Grandpa's there. Van the Beast, what we're going to do is I want you to be involved in this. We are looking for checkmates right now for our warm-up puzzles. So we have the white pieces. Give me your first move that you would do to start off this attack here. We gotta attack this black king. We've been talking about in our class 2 having x-ray vision. We can see that this rook is hiding behind the bishop. So if we move the bishop, we can launch a discovery attack. So there's our clue here. We're trying for double checks. So where can I move Van the Beast that will give me double check? Yes, bishop is going to g5. Double check. The knight and the queen cannot take it because of the discovery check by the rook. So now the king moves over. Van the Beast and Coach Blake, whoever can do it first, type in the move that's going to give us checkmate. He beat you to it, Van the Beast. He beat you to it. Rook to E, not to E1, Coach Blake. But I know where you're heading. It's going to be actually our rook move. Our rook is going to go to D8 for the checkmate. Okay. Van the Beast, we are going to the next puzzle, and here on our next puzzle, puzzle number 2, or same idea, we want to double check. Coach Blake, we want to double check. You're in the chat tonight. You holler at me. You tell me what is going to be that first move. All right. I want to know that first move that is going to begin the double check. Okay, we got bishop to A5. Check. Double check here. We also have bishop to G5. Double check. Let's take a look at Coach Blake's bishop to A5. Double check here. Yes, it is a double check. However, the king could move else. So they do both give double checks here. But one is actually going to give us a checkmate. Not this way, but actually it was Van the Beast. His idea is going to give us checkmate and this variation. Because the king is moved over on this diagonal. So let's take a look here. If it was king to E8, then just like what we had in the last puzzle, the rook is going to come to D8 for the checkmate. But let's take a look at that other variation here. What if the king now squeezes over to c7? Where's our checkmate? Where's our checkmate? All right, Coach Blake, finish them off. Come on, Van de Beest. Whoever is fastest with their typing, man. You type me in. Let me know what move that we need to do to finish them off. Yes. Nice job, Coach Blake. Hey, it's a Missy Moo. How's it going? Ready to learn some? Okay. Glad you're here. Hope you've had a nice, relaxing day. How are the nieces? Okay, we are on puzzle number 3. This is a checkmate in 2 moves here. Let's go with Missy Moo. Missy Moo, I want you to show you that this rook has an X-ray vision. He's seeing right through the bishop. If that bishop moves out of his way, then the rook can check the king. But the bishop, like I said, is in the way. So we're looking for a double check. I want to move this bishop, so I will check the king 2 times. Well, 1 with the bishop and 1 with the rook, okay? So as we're here, we're looking for ways to do it. Now, again, Coach Blake and Van de Beest, what we can do is that we can move our bishop. We have 2 good moves to look at. We have bishop coming to a5, and we also have bishop taking on e5, that square. That will both give us double check, but one of those checks is actually going to lead us to checkmate. Alright, let's see here. Coach Blake says, yes, let's take it with the bishop. Let's use our double check here to actually gain something here. Bishop to a5 does check the king, but it doesn't really give us what it is that we're looking for. Again, the king could start to squirm and start making a run for it. So if I actually take this direction, he could go to b6, or he could go to, the king's going to d7. Now, let me take a look at this box around the king. Okay, Missy Moo, when you're doing checkmate puzzles, and I'll have to get you some good puzzles since you're off your feet here. The king can't go here, and he can't go here. He can run to this square here. He can't go there because of the pawn. He can't go to d6 square because the bishop is attacking that square. He can't go to c6 because of the pawn and because of the king. And the king is also occupying c7 and c8. So the king is really locked himself in a box, and this is his only running square. So when you're doing checkmate in 1 puzzles, you're looking for that one running square that the king can go to, and you're trying to take away that square right here, and you're trying to attack the king on d7. So you want to make your pieces work together. Van de Beest, do you see it? Do you see our checkmate in 1 move here? If you see it, what I want you to do is I want you to type it into the chat. Tell me that move. What move do I need to do to give me that checkmate? Yes, Coach Blake, it's like a back rank checkmate. You're absolutely right. There you go. Rook is going to go to c7. Thanks for doing that puzzle with me. Alright, now, see, that rook is attacking the king, Missy Moo, and that rook would also be attacking e7, that running square that king needs to go to. Now, the black king cannot take on c7 because we have a backup buddy right here. This is our bishop, and our rook are both able to work together to create a helper checkmate. Or, like I like to tell my younger students, this is a backup buddy checkmate, like this. Okay, that's going to be the end of our puzzles. Now we're going to take you to a game of the day. Alright, but before I take you to the game of the day, I want to bring everybody's attention that, hey, you know what we're going to do on Friday nights? Friday nights, Missy Moo, if you're still off your feet, Coach Blake and myself, we are going to team up with our friends to play 4-player chess. And 4-player chess is going to be on Friday night, 7:30 in the evening. We go to about 8:30 or so, and we are doing team chess. So we get together and we try to have some fun, have some chaos. I'll show you how to play 4-player chess. All right, let's go to chess base. All right, for the game of the day. All right, here's our board. And wow, more people are joining in. I'm glad that you guys made it. Thank you guys for coming to tonight's stream for the game of the day. All right, I'm showing you a position right here, right now. What we have is kind of like a finishing position here. So, all right, I have Mimi Mandy joining us tonight. Yay, I'm glad you made it. And I have Moana 63. Hey, glad you made it. We're just getting started of our game of the night, game of the day, whatever it is. Hope you stay with us for a little while. Hopefully it wasn't too hard to get on tonight. Missy Moo sister is here. I'm glad you're chiming in. Hey, if you have questions, please let me know so I can explain it to you and we can actually understand chess a little bit better. The sisters are here. Awesome. What time is that Ranger game coming on before we get started here? Because I'm ready for some baseball watching. They were off yesterday. Ugh. I needed that rest day too. So anyways, you let me know in the chat. Talk with me, let me know if you want to talk about baseball or something else. Oh, Coach Blake, how dare you? How dare you? Are the Astros still last? They haven't been doing so good. You know that, right? All right. Let's go on with our game of the day. Let's take a look at this position here and figure out what's happening. We have, as we're looking at a chess position here, we're looking at first the king and his king safety that's going on around him. Okay. First thing that we are looking for is around this king is that, well, he can't go there. Queen's in the way. He can't go there. Pawn's in the way. He can run here. He cannot go to this square right here, D7, because the knights are attacking that square. But he does have those squares to run to. Coach Blake, as you're in the chat, please, I'd love to have your inputs. Let me know what you noticed too. And Van de Beest, I know you're still there. Hey, let me know what you notice in this too. Move your horsey. Come on, horsey. Yes, we can move our horsies. This is a fun position here. Fun position. Oh, that's a good jump to it though. White has a really cool looking move. Moana, let's take a look at this. Mimi Mandy, look at this real quick here. This bishop has X-ray vision, seeing through the knight to attack that queen. That queen is pinned, or the knight is pinned here. He cannot move this knight. If he moves this knight, let's give him a ridiculous square to go to. Like, we'll just bring him back. Scared chicken that he is. He's a chicken knight. Then our bishop will take that queen off the board here. And we make black cry. And when he's crying, we can just laugh at him saying he wants to quit the game after this too. Alright, so let's go back to this here. Japan Andre, you made it. Yes, glad you're here. I need your input on tonight's game of the day. So let's focus on this pin that we got going on here, because all of this is going to be building up on black, and black does not want to have this annoying pin over here. And that, Japan Andre, is kind of like where we're getting into this middle game. As we start looking and studying more about middle games, then what we see here is that we want to continue to notice this weakness when we're playing, and we're going to like dogpile on this knight here. Rangers at 840. Awesome. So after the stream, we can all watch the Ranger game. How about that, guys? There's a way to do it. I can do it here on my stream. No, I gotta have like something down here at the bottom that has like the scores of the Texas Ranger game. I'll have the Astros in the bottom corner somewhere hiding. That'll be cool. I should do that. You hear that, Coach Blake? We can do that, right? No, it's not that hard. All right, back to chess. Back to chess. You guys are getting me like off task here. So it's just going to be a big build-up of this knight that's on F6 is going to become a target, and I want to continue to keep on attacking onto this target. So I don't like, honestly, black's position here, because even later on in the game we're going to see that after all of this, things are starting to go really bad for black. So how do we get into this kind of position here? Let's start from the very, very, very beginning of the game. Hi friends, glad you made it to the stream tonight. If you're new, just holler at me in the chat and let me know what's going on here. Tell me what you see, questions that you have here. I want to understand more chess. That's what we're spending our time on. Yes, Mimi Mandy. All right, let's get started here. So, game of the day starts off as a King's Pawn game. A King's Pawn game is a tactical kind of game here, but it's a great looking move because white can actually get his queen or his bishop out and to attack. Okay. So, one of the defenses that black can do is to play the move c6. Now c6 doesn't copy white. It is a move that is going to strike at the center here on the next move here. So let's go here and let's go here. Get rid of those arrows. And then black is, like I said, he's going to be ready to put that pawn right there in the center here. Japan Andre, I want, hopefully you can stay focused on this game and the ideas here, because it's kind of like the French defense in a way. There's some small differences that you'll notice as we're setting up here and starting to play, and that you just want to continue to notice, get some ideas here again, like how can black get in trouble like this when he's playing with either c6 or e6. So white has controlled the center and developed a piece. This Missimu is what you want to do when you're playing chess. Control the center and start moving your pieces out there. The knight could come out there. The bishop wants to come out and play too. So we have to figure out, as we're moving our pieces here and paying attention to this sweet center this golden center here. If you can control that golden center, Mimi Mandy, you're gonna have a super game. Super game. So let's pay attention to what's going on here, because white can take that pawn, and the knight can also take it too. But we want, and if you're new to chess, I want to tell you that pawns are 1 point and knights are worth 3 points. So we don't want to give up our horse. All right. We should call him Champion, right? Champion. Champion is the Texas Ranger mascot. Correct. Okay, moving on. Here comes his buddy over here. We got two horses that want to come fight in this game here, and this is a good thing. Control the center, develop your pieces, get them ready to castle here. We can't play chess. We can't keep our king safe in the center if we're just hiding all of our pieces. We need to develop our pieces, get them out there, get them ready to fight. Okay, so black takes. And when he takes the center, well, that's great, because you developed your pieces. Then now you have a backup buddy, so you can take him like this. All right, now the knight is doing a fantastic job at controlling these golden squares here. And this knight is actually in one of the golden squares. All right, there are plenty of moves that black can make here. Now, the reason why I like to play as the black pieces and use the Caro Con, that's the name of this chess opening, where black pushes that pawn first, and then the center pawn like this, and takes that way to the center, is that he can get this bishop out. This bishop is kind of, and when you're playing with black, he can be a problem bishop, or a bad bishop, if he gets locked in. Let's go back here for just a second, okay? You can see here that the bishop wants to come out to play like this. And if we try a different opening, let's say like this and like this, trying to repeat some of the same moves in this game here, like this, then the bishop here, I'm showing you guys, can be a bad piece. So black wants to be able to get his bishop outside of the pawn chain, somewhere around over here where it's safe. So he's got to make it safe, and this is an opening called the French defense too. Let's jump back into our position here. Okay, and we are, after the black takes, white takes back, and now the bishop is an active piece. This bishop can actually get out to doing something. So that's a choice here. My students that are in the chat tonight, and you're watching this, I want to hear from you. What kind of move would you play here? We need to develop our pieces, because we did control the center, and that pawn is gone, and with white, that pawn is gone too. And so what matters here is like who's controlling those sweet center squares here. White has those squares, and black has that golden square. So we want to continue to keep on developing and attacking our pieces here. We have these sleeping pieces, the knight with black. We have, for black, a developing move too. We want to play that pawn push forward to e5. But like I said, that knight can take us there on that square e5. So we have to get backup buddies if we're going to be trying to do moves like that. We need a developing move. Somebody in the chat, I need you to type in here, what would you do here? How would you move the bishop? Would you move the knight? Would you push a pawn? What would you do? I want to help you to make sure that when you're playing chess, you're making good moves instead of like horrible moves. I mean, that will help you to lose the game. I don't want you to make bad moves here when you're playing chess. I want you to be able to find good moves. So clues. You can move one of these knights. I'm going to give you a choice. Move the knight, move the bishop here, or I think it would be even acceptable to move even the pawn forward like this. Okay. Coach Blake likes the bishop coming here to the square G4. Okay. And he can create a pin. Nice move. If you're in the chat, again, talk to me. Let me know what other move would come across to your mind if you're playing as black here. This bishop to G4 move here pins the knight to the queen, and the knight will not be able to go back. Otherwise, black will snap off the queen. Do I have anybody else? Give you a moment to think about what's going on. Japan Andre, are you there? Let me know if you're there in the chat. This is how you type, guys. All right. What move would you do? If somehow and it happens, you pre-move or you accidentally make a wrong move here, and you end up getting a Carol Khan. Playing a different type of game here. Eating Cheetos. Only if they're the spicy Cheetos. Okay, you like bishop to f5. You know what? I'm also liking that move too, because it definitely goes with a direct attack on that knight that's there on that golden square. That's another nice developing move. Okay, other people. The knight also coming to f6 is also a good move here. Now, black starts to have trouble with this move here. He moves his knight to d7 and just made this bishop bad. Missy Moo, are you still there in the chat? Just let me know if you have questions here about this and what's going on. I want to help you to get to know chess a little bit better here. But this bishop, like I said, is bad. He was a good bishop, the active bishop, about to do something, but he wasn't. Now he's being blocked by that knight that went to d7. So this is the first step of like failure, when you're starting to move your pieces in the way of other pieces. It's just what I call like a Houston traffic jam. This Houston traffic jam, or a Dallas traffic jam here. Nobody wants to be into this. Everybody wants to start moving. Okay, so what? Now again, this is the beginning of this, and you know what, Japan Andre, this knight to d7 move is actually one. It's not a terrible move. It has an idea here, and that idea, of course, is to develop here and to be the backup buddy of a knight. So if this knight challenges f6, then white's knight can come in to take it and then bring in his other knights. So it has a purpose here, but I want to point out to you guys that they're both trying to fight for that square. Which knight is going to come there? Okay. Let's continue on with the game here. So white's not. He's not going to waste time here. He's going to move d4. With the move d4 like this, now this bishop that was on c1, let's go back here. See, he was also a bad bishop. But when I did pawn to d4, now the bishop can actually become a potentially good bishop here. We can put him there, we can put him there, we can put him there. We don't know where he wants to land yet, on what square. So we're going to wait on black to see what is he going to do, and then we will get our bishop to actually go to a different square. Hello all friends that are joining the chat. I'm glad you guys made it tonight. Text me, let me know what you can contribute to this mini chess lesson that I'm doing tonight. Tell me, suggest some moves on what is what you think. I wanna help you to get better at chess here. You just say, move the horsey. Just move the horsey. I know we can just move the horsey all around here. We just shuffle your pieces. Just look like you know what you're doing, and then people are like, hey, you know what? That's a good chess player right there. All right. Well, moving the horsey is definitely an idea here, and in this chess opening too for black, black can drop his knight to that square. Knight G is going to F6 here. And that knight is kind of getting mad. He's like, I was supposed to go there. And well, it's like, this is my favorite square when I'm developing. So this knight's supposed to be happy. And saying, well, if he takes this, and then, you know, I can take back like this. Okay? Doesn't have to go that way either. Let's go back. All right. Back to our ponies. We call them ponies, right? So what we got here is that this knight wants to come there, but black starts to get a little weird here and saying, you know what? I actually, if this knight comes to this square, where's this knight supposed to go? Where's that D6 knight supposed to go? Because now, again, he's really making this bishop bad. So the only thing that he's going to do, let's say, well, this knight will come back here. He's saying, no, I don't want to trade and make your position better. The other pony can come to B6 to maybe come there. That's another idea on moving your ponies around here. So he's got that choice. But this chess master wants to try something different. He wants to try this knight going to this square. Now this knight is mad because he just denied his favorite square. But the knight was yelling at the other knight and saying, hey, you know what? That bishop was a bad bishop, and now he's a good bishop. And then with this bishop can now come either to Dupont Andre's F7 square. Let's make it a green square. Or Coach Blake's bishop to G4 square. See? Life is supposed to be good. Life is supposed to be good here. So that's why the knight's saying, and you know, when I see a moves like this, I kind of start to wonder here, and this is for all my other younger students that are watching this chess stream here. How many times did black move that knight? Once? Twice. He's moving the same piece twice in a chess opening, but that's too slow. We want to have more pieces out coming at our opponent here. So we wanted to just keep developing, keep attacking, getting those there. So bringing out new pieces into the game is going to help you to fight and have better games at chess here. So now, actually, why did he go there too? To attack the knight that's there on E4. Now, black wants the knight to take his knight here so that he can bring in his other piece and make the game equal. Okay? And black again has better choices of where he wants to put his bishop here. Okay. So more pieces into the fight here. We want all of our good players to keep on fighting. So white does not want to take the knight on F6 because he knows that that's going to make black's position better, but he has to move it or lose it. Interesting square. This chess master places the knight to C5. He's putting that knight to C5 because he wants to attack that B7 pawn. Okay. Let me see what you said here for just a second. Now, can't the white knight take the black knight? Yes, we talked about that. The knights can take like this. But black has choices of taking back here, and again, his position is looking better. It's looking better for black. So white doesn't want to help black get a good position here. So we'll go back to our knight to c5 move here. All right, that knight to c5, he's looking at that pawn that's on b6, because if everybody, that knight was to go to, let's say, g4 to pin the knight, again, that knight cannot go back because that bishop will attack the queen, then this pawn has no backup buddy. And again, I'm always telling my students, hey, that pawn that's on b7 has no backup buddy. That you need to take it. You need to take it. And when you take it, you are attacking the queen, and you're making your opponent start to panic, and now he's like trying to get his pawn back. Okay. Let's go here. What about g5 here? Let's see here. This square is g5. Could he develop his bishop? I think, Missy Moo, that's what you were saying. Can't that bishop go to g5? Yes, that bishop can go to g5. But our target are pieces and our pawns that have no backup buddies. Okay, so that's what you're looking for. Moana and Mandy, what you're doing when you're playing chess is that you're looking for those guys, like this pawn right here on b7. I'm making them blink for you. Ooh, blinkies. That pawn is a target, and I want to attack those kind of guys too. So that's kind of like almost now a no-brainer. That's once I start taking all of his stuff that has no backup buddies, I'm going to be okay. Because once I take it here, again, I'm threatening to take the queen. So the queen has to move it or lose it. All right, let's go back to knight to c5 here. What does black do? Well, he cannot move his bishop. That bishop is kind of frozen there. Wishing that he had a better move. Now black plays pawn to g6. Okay. Now with pawn to g6 here, I don't like it. I don't like it here. This knight, he's looking for a job to do. And I understand this idea because I've been playing chess for a while. Is that since this knight is a bad knight and he can't go to his favorite square, yes, he can go to the side like this. But he's not really getting much play here. He just has to come here and then maybe over here, taking too long. Again, he'd rather be right there on f6. So instead, what he wants to do is he wants to use the bishop here to go to that square on h6, and the knight can actually be the backup buddy. Let's throw a weird move for white. Let's just go like this. Now the knight can come here, and if the bishop takes, then the bishop can also take back, and black's position is looking better here. All right, g5 hit. Battleship. Well, I thought we were playing chess. Okay, so let's see here. So that's the idea on what black is trying to do with a move like g6. He's trying to free up so that the bishop that's on f8 here, the blinky one, can actually get out to that square and help the knight to start doing stuff, okay? Instead of just sitting there looking dumb. Okie dokies. So let's go on. Now white is taking an opportunity to continue to keep developing. He's moving his pieces out here. He's got his pawn up. He's got his knight ready to go. And now he's about to get ready to castle on the king side. The castling move is rook. King goes over 1, 2. Rook come over. And white is safe in this game. And he's got a really good advantage in space. Let's take a look again. at space in that sweet center here. Okay, that guy's there. The knight's also there. They both have control over that square. The knight has control over this square. The bishop has some control over that square, but I actually want to give that square here to black because black is attacking that square. He is attacking also e4. The queen is also, we're going to put the queen to attacking that square here, but he's got too many backup buddies. It's confusing. I bet I'm talking really confusing to a lot of people here. That's because I'm paying attention to a lot to what's going on here in that sweet center of the board here. So this takes time for chess players to get better at. But they start to focus on that center here, and now their ideas start to revolve around what's going on there, and they're paying attention to what's happening there. Okay, castling Missy Moo. I know it's kind of one of those moves that if you're not playing with other chess players, then you don't see people doing castling. You don't see people actually playing good chess. So you gotta find, you know, somebody else to play chess with or online to get some practice on what we're doing here. Controlling the center, developing our pieces here, and getting ready to castle. Okay, so Mimi, Mandy, and Moana, I know you're new to our stream. You're gonna hear me talk a lot about that too, is that when you're playing chess, our first step is to control the center with pawns, develop your pieces, and get ready to castle. 3 steps: 1, 2, and 3. First step, control that center, develop your pieces, castle to safety. You're gonna have a good game. Okay, so that's my brief beginning knowledge here. All right, so black continues on with his plan to try to free his knight. Okay, the knight's looking better and a little bit more happier that his next plan is to come to f6. Okay, with some help. So white is looking at this position and he is saying, hey, you know what? That is a weak square. Only the king and the knight are protecting that square. But my bishop, he's got right here, is eyeballing that pawn. That f7 pawn, and even this pawn over here on f2 for white, is a very weak pawn before you castle. Once white has castled, let's give him a castling move here, for example, is that now this pawn is not so weak because we have the king and the rook protecting that pawn. So he's actually a strong pawn. And then I don't really want to move my pawns in front of my king, so I'm going to make them red. Don't move those guys too much. You want to keep your king safe in a nice little hut that he's got here, a little fortified castle position. Okay, let's go back here. So this is what makes the white chess player go in for the kill. He's looking at this and saying, okay, yes, that's a good square. Now if he does this move right there, knight to f7, I'm sorry, knight to f5, he did bring in a new knight to the position. But this is a really bad losing move here. My friends that are still in the chat, you have a checkmate in one move. Where would you find checkmate in one move here? Holler at me. I mean, it's not terribly difficult. You kind of gave it away. This is a big weakness. Coach Bryant, I'm glad you made it to the chat tonight. Thank you very much. You're right. That bishop comes slam dunking to f7 like this. Okay, Missy Moo, that you're still in the chat here. I want you to remember in our positions here. I'm going to give you some checkmate puzzles later, since you're off your feet. Look around where the king can move. You can't go to any of these squares, but he is not checked yet. No pieces are. So when you bring in that bishop to f7, Your backup buddy is going to be that knight that you put right there in the center. Knights love to be in the middle of the board here. And again, now you got laser beams on that king, and he has nowhere to go. Again, that knight is also occupying that square here. Now the king, this is checkmate, okay? So practice your checkmate in one puzzles here, and that's kind of what we saw that white is trying to set up. He's trying to set up a checkmate in one puzzle, okay? So again, if black hurries too quickly, then what's going to happen is that he's going to get checkmated right away. Pawn to e6. So he's like, no, I'm not going to let you do that to me. All right, now the bishop is like biting on granite, and he can't take because that pawn will take back, and white will lose a piece in this kind of chaotic position here. Let's continue to keep on going here. White is going to continue to develop more pieces here, and queen's going to come here to f3, eyeballing this guy right here, and x-ray vision, trying to get in maybe over here too if we can move that knight. Suspicious. So Blackswood makes black come over to f5 here. Now he's like, well, no queen is going to take that knight because I have two backup buddies that is there. Now queen is kind of feeling bummed out that he can't get to that f7 square. So what he's going to do is, and he's also noticed that knight. What was that knight doing here? Was the real reason that he brought him in here? To attack the sweet center, to attack those four golden squares here that we've talked about. So he's looking at this pawn that's on d4, attacking it once, but the queen is also attacking it twice. How many backup buddies do we have on that golden square with white? We don't have anybody. We don't have anybody. Nobody that's really going to do anything. So this is what makes white play a pawn to c3. Now he's got a backup buddy. No knight is going to take that pawn. No queen is going to take that pawn now. It's not going to be worth it. Knights are 3 points and pawns are only 1 point. Okay, his plans are foiled again. So what he wants to do is he wants to castle next. So bishop is coming to g7. Now when he comes to g7, now he's going to get ready to castle here pretty soon here. But now this is starting to not look so hot for black here, because what's going to happen is that white is going, he couldn't castle right now. He certainly can castle here. So he's going to get bishop to g5. He wants to create that pin, and we've been talking about creating pins like this so that knight cannot move. Powerful looking move. That knight is not going to be going anywhere, and what white is going to do next is going to start to attack that knight. So black goes ahead and castles. Let's, for a moment here, again, if that knight goes back here, then we just snap off that queen. So let's go back to castling for black. Now he feels really safe, and he doesn't look like he's got too many problems here, but the problem is this knight here. This knight has only 2 backup buddies. So white is going to try to set up a little trap here. Knight's going to come to the sweet center here. Can black take the knight? No, he cannot take it because he's being pinned right now. Okay, so that's white's idea. He is going to make this knight, the f6 knight, the new target, since he's being pinned. And what white is going to want to do is that he's going to want to continue to keep on bringing attackers onto f6, since he can't really move. So he plays a move like h5. I think that was a time-wasting move. But what we can do here with white here, and I want to see if what you would do here. We only got a few more moves left of this mini game because this is starting to fall apart now on black. I'll give you some suggestions here. One, we have castling options here. We can castle this way, we can castle this way. No fear, because we got all of our pieces out there in the game. But we also have another sneaky move here. I want you to take a look at this. Does this move G4 work? Japan Andre, if you're still there in the chat, I want to hear your comments here. Should he go for a castle right now, or should he try something like, does G4 work here? What is the idea behind G4 though? Try to ask yourself that question. Coach Blake, if you're still there, Coach Bryant, if you're still there, hey, I love your input. Does G4 work here, or does black just need to simply get on with castling? Let's see white castle just to be safe. Missy Moo, I would agree with you that castling is always going to be a safe option here to play, and you'll always have a good game if you castle. Nothing wrong with that one. Now the new question is, what about that G4 move? Let's take a look at that G4 move here. If we play G4, Coach Bryant, glad you're here. We're gonna go and we're gonna raid your watch party in just a moment here. Now the issue that we have here is that, well, we can see that black can take that pawn here. Otherwise, this pawn is going to take on F5. Black cannot allow this move to happen here. So if the H pawn takes, as Coach Bryant is pointing out here, then the knight that's here in the sweet center can come here to G4. So when the knight takes, man, we got tons of pressure on this knight here. Missy Moo, this is for you, okay? And anybody else that's young in the chat here. How many attackers are we putting on this knight that's on F6? How many attackers? This is what you want to do when you're watching chess. You want to say, hey, how many times am I attacking that, and how many times is my opponent or black defending it? So let's look for attackers first. Let's look for attackers first. How many times? Somebody in the chat, holler. Oh boy. Is it Ranger time yet? I'm waiting for more baseball updates. Okay. True. Yes. What we do have here is that we have 3. Thank you, Coach Bryant. Thank you very much. We have the bishop, of course. We can see that. And he's got his eyeball staring at that queen there. So if that knight is to move, then we can get that queen here. We got a knight, so that's going to be 2 pieces. But we also have this knight here. And we got 2 defenders. Thank you, Coach Bryant. I'm glad you're our coach that's also watching this too. This knight is about to die. Okay, so yikes. Black does not want this just yet here. So what he's got to do is, I think he just goes into panic mode. He plays C5. I know he's trying for something here, but what he's trying is just not working out here. This isn't super duper hard. When you're doing here is that you're just looking and saying, hey, you know what, this knight is hanging out in the wind here. So if I take, what is he going to do? Well, cry, of course. But this pawn takes back like this. This is about Okay. GG, good game. If you are a strong chess player, you should be able to win this. And again, there's still pressure here on this knight. White definitely wants to continue to keep on applying more and more pressure. Squeeze him, crunch him, okay? And you'll be fine. Castling options, again, are still playable too. I wouldn't probably castle right away here. He did give you just a pawn, and you should take it with your knight over here too. But yes, castling on the queen side, nice idea. Line it up, line your rook up with that queen, and you will, like I said, have a good game here. When you're winning, trade your pieces, and when you trade your pieces, that'll be the end of black here. No more problems. Game over. GG. That's it. That's all. Thank you guys for hanging out with me tonight. Coach Bryant, are you ready to do some streaming tonight here? Take us to our new lesson here. Coach Bryant, my friends, is one of my good friends, my new good friends here in the city of Houston. He is coaches more in the south part of Houston, southwest part, and he is doing coaching over there. So if you are in the Houston area, contact me or contact Coach Bryant. I'll get you in contact with him too. He does a lot more private lessons than I do. So let's close our stream for the night here. I also want to just put it into your ear one more time. 4-player chess on Friday night, 7:30. I hope to see more of you guys there. All right, my friends. Thank you very much for hanging out, watching me. Let's get ready to go and see Coach Bryant and what he's going to do. I'm going to be watching the Ranger game with Moana and Mimi. Mandy. I'll see you guys on Friday. I will also try to stream on tomorrow night, actually, for some tactic puzzle workout. So, Missy Moo, if you're still off on your feet here, then please check back and everything, and I'll show you some more chess. Okay. Oh, Logic Games by Coach Blake are at 7:30 on Thursday night. Okay. So, great. Thank you, Coach Blake, for giving us a break here. All right, cool. I hope that you'll get to follow him, and we will do more logic puzzles and chess puzzles together. All right, everybody, let's go run to see Coach Bryant. In 3, 2, 1, here we go. Let's get ready to roll. Friday nights. Yes. Thank you for watching.